Welcome back to the Thinking Crypto podcast, your home for cryptocurrency news and interviews. If you are new here, please hit that subscribe button as well as the thumbs up button and leave a comment below. If you're listening on a podcast platform such as Apple, Spotify, or Google, please leave a 5-star rating and review. It supports the podcast and it doesn't cost you anything. This content is brought to you by Uphold, which is a platform I've been using since 2017. They're one of my go-to exchanges. You can buy, sell, trade, and earn cryptocurrencies on Uphold. They have 10 plus million users, 250 plus cryptocurrencies, and they're available in 150 countries. You can also trade precious metals and equities on Uphold. As with all exchanges, you can buy and sell on them, but I highly recommend you custody your own crypto, not your keys, not your coins. All right, guys, Bitcoin made a massive move this evening. Currently, it's sitting over $23,184, looking very strong. And if we look at the 1-hour chart here, you see this move, very strong green candle. The bears and the bulls are, of course, fighting. There's a little bit of a pullback, but nevertheless, Bitcoin broke through some key resistance here, and it keeps breaking upwards, building support, right? It moves sideways, chops, and then breaks out upwards. So what I'm looking for here is 25,000. I think we could see 25,000 within the next week, but I'm going to turn, very bullish in that this is a rally similar to what we saw in 2019 after the 2018 bear market. Once Bitcoin crosses 30,000, that's the threshold for me. I am not bearish. I am bullish macro level, but I'm not too sure what is happening here because we got the FOMC meeting coming up at the end of the month. There's still these catalysts existing in the market that could drive the price down, like Digital Currency Group and all the stuff that's going on there. We're going to talk a bit about them and some news later in the video. But, I'm still concerned here. I want to see a bit more, but I'm hoping, Bitcoin is making this move straight up to $40,000. And then, I'll be taking some profits there. If it goes to 50, that would be awesome. And then I will continue to accumulate as it corrects and then, moves into 2024 for the Bitcoin halving. Now, here's what happened. Bears are getting wrecked with this move. So over $30 million in Bitcoin short liquidations in 1 hour. So bears are getting destroyed. There's a saying, bulls make money, bears make money, and pigs get slaughtered. So I think some bears are moving into the pig category where they're getting very greedy, right? Bulls can get greedy at the top of the market, right? 69,000. Oh, it's going to keep going, right? We all get that euphoric feeling, and it's like, it's not going to stop. It's going to keep going, but we know it's going to stop at some point and correct. And, and the juxtaposition is bears at the bottom, they're like, oh, it's going to keep going lower. It's going to keep going lower, right? And it's like, nope, it's not going to keep going lower. It's funny how human emotions and psychology works, right? And this is where you kind of want to be a bit even keel. Don't get me wrong. Have people, like myself, made wrong price calls? Sure, but I'm not using leverage. I'm dollar cost averaging, buying the lows. I'm a regular investor. I'm not a trader. So I don't use leverage. So I don't get wrecked. I don't get wiped out, right? That's my approach. And that has made me money and reduced the risk, when it comes to my investments. And here is some more data, regarding Bitcoin's move from Caleb Frenzen. So he shared the following chart saying new support range is now valid for Bitcoin if and when we have another short-term pullback. Happy trading, fam. So once again, Bitcoin moving up, breaking through resistance, then building support levels, right? Chopping in that respective zone or range and then breaking through. So that's what you want to see, right? It has to build the support levels, and we're seeing that, guys. Things are moving in the right way. Here's another bullish indicator, the DXY, right? The US dollar currency index. It is down, and you look at the chart here, it's breaking downwards, guys. So Caleb Frenzen said the US dollar index DXY is down negative 0.31%, potentially going to make new year-to-date lows, outline this rejection in real time. So anytime the dollar is crashing and it's going down, assets start pumping, right? We've seen that historically, and it's not just crypto, it's stocks as well. So this is another bullish indicator. But once again, I'm still cautiously optimistic, guys. I am waiting to see what the Fed is going to do. I think that's a big indicator. We have to wait to the end of the month, but things are looking bullish. I have to say that. And Bitcoin's move this evening, I think it's just showing it wants to go to 25. Will it go to 30? That's a big question. Now let's move ahead here. Goldman Sachs ranks Bitcoin as the best performing asset in the world in 2023. Now, we are literally 25 days into 2023. So, it's still early, but we'll take it, guys. The fact that Bitcoin, a cryptocurrency, is leading here in market performance is pretty amazing. This is above gold, energy, the S&P 500, real estate, NASDAQ 100, and the 10-year US Treasury. Pretty amazing, right? When you think about it. And guess what? This is going to become the norm as cryptocurrencies and digital assets become a bigger part of people's investment portfolios. They get adoption and implementation into the economy, into the processes of life, right? Everything running on the blockchain. So this is once again a foreshadowing of what's to come, and pretty great. But take a little bit of a grain of salt. We're only 25 days into the year. Now, something else that's interesting and also bullish, Tesla held all its Bitcoin through crypto market turmoil. So despite all the stuff that took place last year, FTX crash and all that stuff, right? Tesla still held. That's pretty amazing. They still held the Bitcoin on their balance sheet. Tesla had diamond hands through the market reckoning of late last year, opting to hold onto its Bitcoin leading into 2023. Now, remember, they did sell some of their Bitcoin holdings in early 2022, right? As things were crashing down, but they held the remainder of their Bitcoin. So let me give you the details. After selling 75% of its Bitcoin holdings in 2022, electric car manufacturer Tesla opted to hold its remaining supply through the fourth quarter, according to SEC filings. In July 2022, Tesla reported it sold 75% of its Bitcoin for $936 million in the second quarter. The sale marked the first change Tesla has made in its Bitcoin holdings since the first quarter of 2021, when the company acquired some 43,200 Bitcoins for $1.5 billion. Here's a quote. "We are certainly open to increasing our Bitcoin holdings in the future, so this should not be taken as some verdict on Bitcoin." This is what CEO Elon Musk had said during the company's 2022 second quarter earnings call on July 20th, 2022. "It's just that we were concerned about the overall liquidity for the company given COVID shutdowns in China." In the fourth quarter earnings report, Tesla reported no losses on its remaining Bitcoin holdings. So that's good news. And I think the fact that they're still holding and they didn't dump despite everything that took place, that's a good sign. And Elon could, of course, continue to buy more Bitcoin, and other companies can do the same. And I think, we're still in the early days of companies putting Bitcoin on their balance sheet, but I think this will continue as Bitcoin matures, as the crypto market matures, we get regulations and so forth. You're going to see more companies use this as or put this on their balance sheet. And, Tesla did really well. They beat all analysts' expectations. So they're, in a good shape right now, despite, the down year. So we got some news here about the Grayscale lawsuit against the SEC. They put out some article here, and the CEO said that Grayscale would appeal its lawsuit against the SEC if the court does not rule in its favor. Michael Sonnenschein, who's the CEO, told me, although the company is confident its case will be successful and expects a ruling this fall. Now, that's what he's saying as the CEO, but, some other folks are given the juxtaposition of that statement, and they're saying the SEC is looking at the block pledge and subsequent sale of GBTC affected by Genesis Trading and Gemini. Sources say blatant disregard for Regulation 144 and an easy case that disadvantaged regular investors via both time and price considerations. GBTC ETF odds are zero. So this is from one person here, highlighting that the SEC may reject it, and they may have some solid grounds here, because this whole situation with Genesis Trading and some other things too. So, we'll have to wait and see. I think if Digital Currency Group wasn't going through this issue with Genesis Trading and Gemini and getting, called out by Tyler Winklevoss and Cameron Winklevoss on Twitter, I think they would have had, a stronger case. But there's some chinks in their armor here, right? There's some holes in their whole setup. So it's not looking good. I don't think they get approved. And despite what the CEO is saying, I don't think that's going to happen. That really sucks. But we'll see what happens. Maybe BlackRock is going to get theirs approved. Well, I don't know if they filed, but they launched a Bitcoin spot trust. So I can imagine their next step would be to file for that ETF. Now, here's some good news for Flare token airdrop recipients. Hugo Filion, who I've interviewed on the podcast many times, he's the founder of Flare. He said, "This is great news. Thank you to the Celsius team and lawyers for pushing hard to make this happen. I know how difficult it was." So the news is that Celsius Network will distribute Flare tokens, the Flare token airdrop to eligible Celsius accounts. The issue is, though, can you access it? That's going to be a problem. Maybe, there was talks about Celsius wallet holders being able to access their funds versus the ones who are participating in lending. So we shall see, but here are some details. The U.S. Bankruptcy Court in the Southern District of New York has authorized Flare airdrops to eligible Celsius account holders. Tokens for the Flare networks were distributed to holders of Ripple's XRP token earlier this month. So we shall see, guys. I think we need to get more details here, but we're moving in the right direction. This is good news, and that folks can, get their tokens. But this bankruptcy process and the whole lock and everything could not. You couldn't. It may be distributed to the accounts, but then you can't even go access it. Right? That's the thing that sucks. So once again, some good news. We're moving in the right direction, but it's not at the point where it's a successful airdrop to the people who, had their stuff on Celsius, because you got to be able to take delivery of that token, right? You got to be able to move it out and do whatever you want with it. So we shall see. Anyway, guys, that's the news. What do you all think about Bitcoin's move? And, as always, Bitcoin will move and then the alts will pull or move with it. Bitcoin's has that gravitational pull. So even if you don't hold Bitcoin, you want to see Bitcoin do well, because historically that's how the market has performed, where Bitcoin moves and then altcoins follow. That's just in general. I know there are one-off situations where certain coins will just pump, but I'm talking about the whole market, right? We're talking about the macro here versus individual tokens that may pop off here and there. But let's see what happens over the next week. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll talk to you all later.